You'll agree with me that you have had very eminent and capable presenters who have shared with you very pertinent issues that affect us. We started with Dr. Nyamato, who shared with us the sexual reproductive health rights advocacy. And as you know, the public health nurse is in the middle of advocacy at the community level. So this topic came at a very right time. And Dr. Nyamato started by defining what is advocacy and the activities at different settings. And he has given us information which will enable us to carry out our role of advocating to protect the sexual and reproductive health rights for all women. I think even men should be protected, isn't it? I know women are much affected, but men are getting affected, especially when it comes to gender-based violence. Men are increasingly in Africa being abused also. So we should remember them as we address sexual and reproductive health rights. He gave us the guide, and he told us that we need to lobby so that we are able to link the reproductive health to physical and mental health. In this way, we'll be able to focus on socially disadvantaged women and men, of course, in relation to equity aspect of sexual reproductive health within our health system. And when we talk of equity, actually we are addressing UHC. Then we had Dr. Dan Kaseje, and I think his topic was touching the very key issues in our day-to-day practice, and he shared with us the study, and actually that study is showing us the process of carrying your chair to the table. You remember this famous phrase from last year that we need to carry our chair to the table? We were just told to carry the chair to the table. Did we know how we'll carry it? Dr. Kaseji has told us what to do. He has empowered us. He has showed us how the public health nurse can be empowered. And as you know, a nurse who is not empowered is a frustrated nurse, and is a nurse who has no confidence. And therefore, you need to be empowered as a nurse to gain that confidence to move your chair to the table. Without the confidence and the empowerment, you will not do that. I think I have only 4 minutes to summarize. And I want to say that he also talked of teamwork in this study, which is lacking among nurses, especially in Africa region. We need to foster teamwork. We need to change mechanisms, and which will enable us to engage, and which will enable us to enhance our confidence to have a bigger voice. We need to change the momentum. Ladies and gentlemen, he also addressed the empowerment which gives us the voice and confidence, and give us some level of independence, and that is what the nurses need. Most of the time, when we engage with other cadres, we lose our independence. We start looking at another cadre as superior in expressing their views than us. We need to come out of that and start expressing our mind. We start knowing that we need to talk our mind and be effective when we are at the policy table. Many a times, and I'm sorry to say this, you will find that sometimes you are in a table that you need to articulate nursing issues. But when the meeting ends, nobody will know whether nurse was on that table. And that's why I want to agree with our ICN president that for you to be at the table, for you to be at certain high level, you have to lobby and you have to speak. If we don't speak as nurses, we'll not get where we want. So I would really urge that we implement this hub model in our region to increase our voice in the region and build our capacity. And I'll give the example in Kenya here. When I was the public health nurse, how many years ago, Elizabeth? We were very powerful. When you appear as public health nurse, even the administration greet you with respect. They allow you to talk. But as I speak now, there's no public health nurse. I hope I'm saying the truth. I hardly hear of a public health now. They have now been diluted to something else. And I feel that the global network is coming at the right time, maybe for us Kenyans, to use it as a launching pad to gain the public health nurse voice back, because it has gone. And the moment it goes, it will be very difficult to address the community issue. Because the time we were the public health nurse empowered with power, things were working at the grassroots. Diseases were few. But now, you hear even choleras are at the most prestigious hospitals in our region. So, the public health nurse voice must come back. Then, we ended up with our nurse midwife #1 in the world, Annette, who showed us the road to the future. We know the nursing now is giving us a voice to lead now. What about nursing tomorrow? This voice needs to help us be at the table tomorrow. Because if we are not going to use nursing now to get this voice at the table, then nursing now will not propel us to the future in a progressive way. So, Annette told us the main thing for the future of the public health nurse and for you to be at some higher level is to lobby. And that is true. Lobby and advocate for the nurses if you are a leader. Lobby and open doors. We have many challenges, but these challenges we need to approach politicians. She told you how to approach politicians. An example from here, I hope Dr. Bitok now will write to the policymakers. And then I'm sure there will be recommendation after this conference. So in that letter, you also talk of the recommendations that you came up with, and you tease out the ones that you want them addressed. And that's way you're also lobbying. And maybe they can be touched and listen. So we need to lobby, and we need to talk our voice. Strategic leadership to advance nursing profession to meet changing demands of healthcare will come only if we get to talk and if we lobby. Thank you. And I want to say that this lobbying, this talking is not only required at the leadership level, it is also required at the facility level. It was also required at the community level. I remember I went somewhere for supervision, and the nursing officer in charge of that hospital had an office the size of that screen. And another colleague who they're almost at the same level had a whole world of an office. Then we started asking, how did he get this big office, and how are you in this small office? I think it was lobbying. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Susan is the former Director of Nursing for Kenya, and of course the immediate past President of Hexagon. That's my president. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for the high table.